If you want to talk about breathing life into your game's world, physics-based ragdolls is the way to do that. It grants you dynamic movement driven by the actions of the game, which gives you interesting and at times hilarious content, and I think most people would agree there's something just pleasing about watching ragdolls do their thing. Setting up a ragdoll, which we'll be doing in this video, is actually pretty simple, but actually animating them and making them move is a different story. And so if you're brand new to Unity, I wouldn't recommend starting with this, but anyway, let's move on to what assets you'll need. You can definitely get away with using circles and rectangles, but I do think this is a good opportunity to create a character atlas. And all that means is in one image you have your entire character broken up piece by piece. So head, torso, arms, legs. Something I see a lot of people do, they stop at 2 arms and 2 legs. I think this is really rigid, and I think you can get away with it if you want to be a little noob. But if you want to be a cool guy, you should probably consider adding hands and feet, as it's just going to give you a richer ragdoll experience. I'm just making a stick man, but have some fun with it. Give him some eyes, a mustache, make him balding. Oh, he's looking great. This was the real Mario. Miyamoto better watch out. But anyway, with the atlas finished, let's open up Unity and start building our ragdoll. Alright, so like usual, we have our empty 2D Unity project. Let's import our character we just made. So I'll go down to the assets folder and right click, and we'll import new asset, and I'll pick my stickman. By default, these images come in as a single sprite. So we'll change the sprite mode to multiple, and apply, and open up the sprite editor. Oh, beautiful. When you have your different body parts kind of spread out like this on a sheet, they call this an atlas as opposed to a sprite sheet, which usually has like the animations in order. To help you guys see, I'll change it to black and white mode, and I'll go to slice in the top left. In this case, we actually can just use the automatic slicing. We can literally just hit slice, and it'll break each one of these into their own little sprite. And if you click on one, you can change the name if you want to. You definitely don't have to do this, but it does help for organization. I'm just going to rename each one of these sprites really quick. Once you hit apply, it breaks out each one of those body parts into their own sprites, and since I renamed them, they're kind of easy to tell which one's which. So I'll go ahead and right click in our inspector and create an empty game object, which is going to hold all of these different body parts. And I'll just call this player. You could also call it like stickman or something. Now let's just go ahead and drag each one of these sprites onto our player object. I'm not going to add our feet or our wrists or hands, forearms, whatever you called them, just yet. I'm just going to do the head, torso, the 2 arms, and the 2 legs. And it's just a little easier this way. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure my torso is zeroed out, and that'll be our base that we position everything off of. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. I like to do one side at a time, and then just copy the values and invert it. You can right click on the transform and do copy component, and then just go to the opposite and paste component values. You can just invert whatever the X position is. Just a quick way of doing it. All right, we have our guy T-pose in here. He's looking real good. He's missing a couple limbs, but we'll add them in a second. It's just easier to do this first. So since the head's the only circle, we'll do that first. We'll add a circle collider 2D, and then I'll select the torso and shift click down. You could also control click to select individual ones, but basically select everything except the head, and let's add a box collider 2D. And then I'll control click the head back into the selected group, and we'll add a rigid body 2D. And then I'll control click the torso out of the group, so everything but the torso, and add a hinge joint 2D. And if you're with me so far, by the end of it, your torso should just have a box collider 2D and a rigid body 2D. Your head should have a circle collider 2D, a rigid body 2D, and a hinge joint 2D with the torso as the rigid body target. And then your 4 limbs should all have a box collider 2D, a rigid body 2D, and a hinge joint 2D with the stickman torso as well as the target rigid body. What this basically means is the torso is the spine or the heart of your ragdoll. So everything depends on your torso. That's your center of mass. And why we didn't do the other appendages like your wrists and feet is because those will actually get attached to the arms and legs instead of the torso. But for now, let's take a look at these hinge joint 2Ds. With your gizmos turned on, if you select anything that has a hinge joint, you should kind of see these pins put into the sprite. Let's select the head and the 4 appendages, and make sure in your hinge joint 2D, we disable auto-configure connections. If you don't uncheck that, your body parts actually won't be attached to the torso later on. And let's start with the head first. So you can go ahead and press this button on the hinge joint 2D to edit where we want the pin to be placed. So once I click that, I can drag these 2 dots around, and that's kind of the anchor point. And I'm just going to anchor them right at the top of the torso. You can then do the exact same thing with each of the 4 appendages. So you can see all the anchor points now are kind of attached to the torso. I'm going to drag in the torso sprite just because it's a rectangle. I'm just going to make this a floor really quickly. So once we hit play, our ragdoll should stick the landing and then just kind of fall over. I mean, that's what ragdolls are supposed to do, right? At this point, if you want to actually test to make sure you set it up correctly, if you select your torso and use the move tool, in play mode you could drag around your torso and you'll kind of see it flop around. But as long as all the body parts are attached, then you should be set. For example, if I left auto configure connected anchor on, when I drag around the torso, the head, just gets pulled right off. And so any limbs that had that checkbox on wouldn't actually follow the torso. That's why it's important to deselect that. He's looking a little too stubby for my taste, so let's go ahead and add the hands and feet to complete the ragdoll. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag on 2 wrists and the 2 feet. Okay, and same thing, we want to add a box collider 2D, a rigid body 2D, and a hinge joint 2D. But here's where it differs from the other parts. Instead of the torso being the base, for the 2 wrists, we want to add their respective arm as the connected rigid body anchor point. So for the right wrist, I'll drag in the right arm, and for the left wrist, I'll drag in the left arm. And same thing with the feet. For the right foot, we drag in the right leg. And the left foot, we drag in the left leg. This is where labeling them actually makes life easier. And same as before, we'll uncheck auto configure connected anchor point, and then for each of them, we'll adjust the anchor points to be right on the limb. And so now when we play, he still falls over as expected, but he definitely looks more like a living person, and he looks great balding. So now the goal is to get our ragdoll to stand up straight, because once we do that, we're then in a prepared state to add movement and animation and anything else we want to do. So let's start with our head. Down in our hinge joint 2D, you'll notice we have this use limits checkbox, and we have these things called angle limits. And right now, it's basically an entire 360-degree circle. If we were to check use limits and enable that, and then type in a number like -100 to 100, you'll see that the radius of the sphere has changed. And it takes a little bit of playing to understand what's going on here. One way to help understand this is from this anchor point, if horizontally, following my mouse, there was like a shaft coming out that you could tinker back and forth, you could basically tilt the head back and forth up to the radius's edge. So if you were to set it to -20 and 20, you'd only be able to move it this much, instead of the full 360 degrees that you were able to before. I was playing around with it for a few minutes, tweaking values, until I got them to stand pretty consistently, so these are the values I found. -20 and 20 for the head. For the 2 feet, enable limits. We basically want the feet to be pretty immobile, so I did -5 to 5. And then for the 2 legs, I just made it -10 to 10. And so over the course of me play testing this over and over again, I realized these values made him stick the landing pretty much every time. When you want these characters to actually move, you could have like a limb tracker script. Force yourself to basically be upright. There's a lot of different ways you can handle it. But in terms of setup, I think this is actually a really good starting point. And you can just build off from here. But again, feel free to play around with your own values. Setting up movement for your physics-based ragdoll is actually a non-trivial amount of work. It can be quite a lot. I'll only consider doing a tutorial for it if there's enough interest. Maybe if there's like enough likes on the video or something. And in which case, it'd probably just be like a 30-minute unfiltered tutorial where I just go through it live. But I do hope this helped you out. There's a lot of resources out there if you're interested in doing that, which you clearly are if you've made it this far. I think you'll find getting animations and movement set up with this rig is actually pretty seamless, so I hope it helped you out. If you have any trouble and you need help with anything, join the Discord and post in there, or leave a comment. And I'm always putting out new content and tutorials, so be sure to...